everybody, it's Karen here today. I have got this adorable little stamp set called Birthday Bear. It's new from Gerda Steiner, and I'm making a shaker card with that today. I started off making this card. I'd already stamped and colored up these images with Copic markers. Usually I do a full sheet of cardstock when I'm doing my stamping and coloring because then I've got all the same markers out and it's just easier. I've added glossy accents, as you can see, to the flags on the banners, the balloon, and the birthday bear's hat. And I've now got an A2 size piece of pink cardstock, and I'm going to do some ink blending on that with picked raspberry and also with the seedless preserves. The seedless preserves I just did around the outside edge. I didn't go in quite as far as I had with the picked raspberry, just to give a bit of depth to my card. And once that was all done and dried, I used my anti-static powder tool to go over the whole entire front. I think that sort of helps the shaker bits move better. But I also wanted to clear emboss this sentiment onto the front. So I'm just using some clear embossing powder and I will heat set that. And the next part now, it's this magical piece of material. It's the cellophane wrap from those stamps and dies that we all buy. I saved those and I have just cut this a slightly wider. You can see it's about an inch bigger than my A2 cardstock. And I am on the back side now just using my tape runner, and I'm going to fold this cellophane over, and you can kind of crease it. It creases fairly well. And I'm going to do that now on 3 sides. So I'm going to make a pouch for my shaker bits to go into. So I'm folding this over and I trim off the corners just because you can see it would stick out when you go to glue this down. So just makes it a little bit neater and tidier if you can trim those. And I'll show you here what it is that I was trimming off. So that little flap that's not adhered down, I trim that off so that when I glue this to or attach this to my card front, it doesn't stick out. And there's the pouch, pretty simple. Now I find it easier to glue my images onto the top. You could put the images on the inside, but I chose to put these on the front of the cellophane, so I've glued them to the front. And now you have this little pouch that you hold open, and all the shaker bits are going to go in there. I put quite a bit in this one. I wanted it to look very much like a party with confetti and just a fun time. So it's all in there, and then all you do is the same thing now on the top. You're going to fold this back over. The top one I don't fold quite as tight. I leave a little bit of room so that the shaker bits have a bit of leeway to move around. If it's too tight, they will just stick in place and they don't really shake. So I'm trying to show you there that there's a little bit of extra room. But it moves really quite well. So I find this just a fun shaker card. Sometimes when they're smaller, they don't move as well, but somehow this full-size shaker card, the shaker bits really get going. So it's a fun one to do. Now I'm just using my tape runner here, and I'm going to attach that card front to my card base. And just be a little careful when you line it up. I wouldn't want to rip that shaker pouch because you'd have shaker bits everywhere. So I'm just trying to line it up carefully and stick it down, and it just moves so well. So on the inside I stamped my sentiment. It's from that same Birthday Bear stamp set. And I love that little bear arm that Gerda's put in, this one with the balloon. I just think that is so sweet. So I've put him on the inside, just glued it down. I leave that extra little white bit on the edge so I can kind of figure out where he needs to go. And then once it's stuck down, I just trim off the excess. And that is the card. How fun and easy is that? just, it's got such a wow impact too from the front. I hope you guys will give this a try. It's just really fun. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope to see you again next time.